I adore my character. I love her. I think she has a beautiful, childlike inquisitiveness to her nature, and I think there's an honesty to her as well, which I really admire. And she's not afraid to say what she feels about things, and she's very honest and therefore childlike in the way that she sort of talks about things and reacts. She's quite impulsive, and that's very, very fun to play somebody that's quite impulsive. I've really enjoyed how Kitty has progressed and come on, and now she's head of beauty, and I think it's just, you know, it's her dream. She loves that kind of thing, and I think she's actually very good at her job. I think she works very, very hard. So being head of something like beauty is pretty huge, because makeup was becoming such a, you know, powerful and commercial industry at the time. So to be head of that department at such an interesting period of social change, because before we used to hide the makeup under the counter because it was prostitutes that only wore it, and it was sort of, no, you know, people wore it but they never sort of admitted it, kind of thing. But now it's like, yeah, come and, you know, buy your makeup from Selfridges, and, you know, it's a lot more open, which is nice. And again, that's that changing sort of social change for women. Well, my hair's shorter, and you know, it was all sort of piled high before, and now we're moving more towards the 20s. So there's still like the, you know, the curls and the softness there that was there in the Edwardian period, but it's becoming a lot more practical, isn't it? It's becoming a lot more boyish, and I suppose, you know, that's been affected by women taking on, you know, male roles and things like that. It's like we filmed a scene where the guys were going off to war, and there was a marching drum and band coming through the store, and it was quite, you know, it was quite strange. And I started to play the scene quite solemnly, but then I thought, well, she wouldn't know that this was necessarily going to be this, you know, a horrible sort of thing that went on for years and years and years, and they lost loads of their loved ones. She wouldn't have necessarily known that. In fact, I think it was very exciting. You know, the boys are very excited, yeah, we're going to war, and, you know, we're going to teach them. And there was a real sort of sense of, yeah, it's, you know, and I think, you know, it would have been sort of like quite strange and quite funny for her to see this sort of drum and band coming through the store. I don't think she, you know, necessarily would have understood what that meant. I think as time goes on, and I think what this series shows is, you know, there's letters that come back and say that somebody's dead, and it's just confusion. It's like, what do you mean? He just went a couple of weeks ago. He can't be dead. It must be a mistake. It's when those realities start to hit home that you go, oh, that's what war means. But I don't necessarily think that people had all those preconceptions, because they simply hadn't been through it before. You're playing women that suddenly don't see themselves in the same way. You know, maybe different to how modern women are today, because we're quite confident, we're quite self-assured, quite, you know, we've got lots of things that protect us now, which we didn't have back then. So this is a group of women that was suddenly realising that actually maybe they could do things that, you know, men had only previously done. Everybody loves to watch human beings go through the same thing: births, deaths, marriages, jealousy, anger, whatever it is, but in different costumes. You know, there's something reassuring and comforting in that, in the fact that human nature is quite constant, even though our outfits might change.